We're back with stage 2, week 1 recruiting. Yep, I think that's what they want to call it. So we'll start off, obviously, video title, tragedy and controversy. Talk about the storylines first, and we'll talk about some big controversy this week about our recruiting process. Things almost came to blows, but we settled it like adults. First up, though, again, we want to talk storylines, and this one started with a bang, literally. The Ramirez parents died in a car accident. This shit is fucked up. I don't know what to tell you. Poor Alexander, poor Enrique. They lose their parents. That's nuts. Can't believe Frisk did that to them. But if they want to be like anime main characters, that's got to be the first step. Got to have the parents die. It's a tragic accident. Always happens. But can't get recruited this week, so kind of put it a lot of people on pause. I think mostly me and Compass, maybe some other people behind the scenes battling on Enrique and Alexander. So then we have to turn our attention to other places. Next storyline was John Andabelli. They talk about him being a douchebag to his teammates. Get a fielding revealed of D51. Not great, not bad. And then they show Manning McLaughlin. He's playing shortstop, but he's actually dog shit in the field. Kind of got that hint from the storyline early on that he was nasty at pitching, but not great fielding. And this is showing that to be true so far. His fielding rating is terrible. And then you saw that multi-sport athlete, Jamichael Sequins. He's playing football, basketball, baseball. He's doing it all, but gets hurt. Tommy John. That's nuts. So couldn't scout or recruit him at all this week. He was looking like a decent power guy, maybe a little bit of a two-way guy, but now he's hurt. Kind of blows. And then Cole Rickman. We saw him with that Addy early on. They show him to be slow here. And he's getting a lot of flack from people around the league. Being a cheater. Yeah, this one, pretty funny. Jimmy Terry breaks his hand punching a wall after a loss. 162 kilometers per hour to 109. Oh, sorry, Jimmy. And then this was the last one, so we'll have to end it on this one. But Jonathan Dodd, new recruit added. His scout ratings were pretty shit, but 1-star recruit added just to get another player in there, I think. But you never know. He could turn out to be better as he gets better. He's not a baseball player, more of a lacrosse player, I guess. All right, so that was the storylines. And now we got to talk big controversy. So let's first go back. Past it. So we talked about earlier how you can do one of each action, right? Everybody said we're going to do one of each action max on a recruit. So could I do phone call pitches to 10 different people? Yes. But could I do 10 send care packages to the same person? No. If it's the same person, gotta be different actions. So all of us in the league at first took this to mean scout is one action, recruiting is one action, email, scholarship. But the big one in question was phone call pitch. So people treated phone call pitch as you could only choose one of these. However, I could kind of tell talking to Frisk in the DMs that I thought that he was maybe saying something else. So I asked him. He said something to me about you could do 5 phone call pitches pitching a different thing. We were talking about the final stage. I was like, wait a minute. If I could do that in the final stage, I could do that all along, no? So you could do treating those 5 phone calls as different actions versus the same action. He was like, yep. Like, oh shit, that's sick for me because my scouting director, Keisha, gives plus 30 on each phone call. So if I do 5 phone calls to one person, like I'm going to have a crazy ass time. It's going to be great for me. Other people can't do that bonus wise. Like it's still really, really good for Stanford and Street as well, as they get plus 40 on every action. So it's like even better than me, but it's still like a sick thing. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to be getting all the guys I want. But then we had get called out, which is definitely fair because obviously no one realized that they were treating those 5 phone calls as different things. But they were talking about how using multiple phone calls to the same persons against the rules. Huge. It's definitely a huge advantage for Stanford, Florida, and Oregon because we get plus 30 on every single action. So we went from having one of these super and again, it only costs you 20K on a phone call, and you're getting bonus points. So now you're only spending 100K and you're getting a shit ton of points. That's like pretty busted. So it was pretty busted for Stanford, Florida, and Oregon. And then we kind of talked about it. Obviously, I asked Frisk if I could do that before I did it. I didn't just like do that out of nowhere. He was kind of designing it when he had, so obviously all along he thought that this was going to be okay, but he basically wanted it to be like the main scouting guys, and then you're nasty at recruiting. But personally, I did think it was a little bit too strong for the recruiting people because you can kind of just out recruit on them on many different people then, and then you can still just wait and see who's better and then outget them. So you have to have kind of a little bit of a way to get them. Like Street and what's their name, Emma, are still gonna be able to out recruit most people one-on-one, but it's tough for them to get multiple. Versus if you had this rule, they could get like 10 different people first place and it'd be easy. Yeah, it's kind of basing it off of like NCAA 10, NCAA 07. But as I kind of said, even though I did the action and I was kind of benefiting from it, I did say I thought it was too OP. So I was kind of leaning towards just one phone call person. And I let other people kind of talk about it. Obviously, the scouting directors, so Tennessee and Arizona, they would get absolutely hosed by this because they can't compete with anyone if they get this. Splash benefits because he has a giant budget, so every single prospect he's in on, he can afford the 5 phone calls, but the other people can barely afford it. And then also, even if we're doing that, we're all getting bonuses while they're not. So, kind of talked about it, but even Stanford and Moose agreed that it was too powerful. He would have been like absolutely disgusting with that. And then I had to resubmit my actions. So then we had to do that. So before I scroll down too far, we did show our recruiting visits for this week. We're going to show the actions after this. That was pretty much it. We pretty much resolved it saying, okay, it was what all the rest of us thought early on. We'll just stick with one phone call max to one person during the week. Can't have multiple phone calls on the same guy in 1 week. But here's some recruiting visit pixel art. We had Florida hosting Marshall Harrington and Chase Underwood, 2 top guys. And again, if you win games, for every win you get during the week, you get plus 100 points. So on these guys, they're going to get plus 100 points. You've kind of seen some of the action so far. On my channel, we actually faced Offers Florida. They beat us, so they get 100 points that week. For an extra 100 points on those guys for that game. Plus, they still have to face Arkansas, which at the time of this, they haven't played yet. Tennessee hosted Annabelle and Marquez. I think at the time of this, they've already beaten Arizona, so that's plus 100 extra. And then they still haven't faced Georgia, but obviously Georgia have been one of the teams struggling. The Ducks, we hosted Kai Kardashian, Manning McLaughlin versus Florida and Arizona. We ended up going 2-2 during these games, so we got plus 200. Obviously missed out on 200 points that we could have had extra out of belows. And then Arkansas Razorbacks. This was actually incorrect. He was supposed to have scout as his action, but he had host visit, went over his points, and they fixed it. Trying to cheat, but I see how it is. And then after I had a restructure, I did also host Ashton Brooks, which we can talk about after this. But yeah, you can see they had to cancel that. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so here I had to change my actions, and then after that we were good. Sad. So let's talk about the actual actions. So now we're in week 1, remember? We did spring training last week, so now these are the week 1 actions. Arkansas, of course, has that huge budget. Looks like they scout Annabelle a little bit. Marquez, they're going in. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actions. Not sure if you guys could really tell from last time, but Vincent Marquez looks like he's Yaki Mask. Basically is what his stats are, so that'd be a nice get for this team. Riley June, he's also going all in on. You can see that. Many actions on him. So that big budget is coming to play. He's kind of locked up a couple people early. I copied this ahead of time before he fixed it, so this is not right. So this is oh no, this is actually the main copy, so they'll still have to fix that. But no visit for James Charles, Tokyo Thomas, Sly Cooper, and that was it for Arkansas. So they kind of used their big stuff early. You do send head coach? Yeah, Riley June, which is nuts. Just plus 450, boom, dropping his nuts on the table, saying, "Come fight me for him." I think Arkansas has been really, really good so far. Their strategy, just throwing out the big money at the top guys and saying, "Everyone else, yeah, catch up to me, bitch." But we have also my actions now, so this is after I fixed it, I believe. So I think I have my stuff at the very bottom, but saw Ashton Brooks had a couple of decent stuff, so started going after him a little bit. He had good pitching scout grades. We were kind of going after him. Bryce Callaway had decent grades. We were looking at him. And then again, Kai Kardashian, we saw he was really good at hitting, and we needed either a DH, first base, or outfield, or third base, and he was like all those. So it's like worst case, he's just a good hitter. And we'll try to lock him up. So I did try to do all that phone call spam, but we had to axe those out. So we did the visit, we did our coach phone call, and we also just had like 10 extra points left over, so we ended up doing an email. Again, same thing, Manny McLaughlin, we knew he was going to be a good pitcher, so we're like going after him now. And then we had to fix that visit for Brooks. And then a couple other guys that I was just like, what you call it? Top coach reputation guys. And boom. All right, so Arizona. I think we'll have to fix some of that stuff there. Like duplicate stuff. Arizona also looking at Andabelli, trying to get him. Coach rep, phone calls. Michelson, Manny McLaughlin, Reed Piper, and Sawyer McKenna. So basically, it looks like so far, Arizona, of course, has that scout function where it's sneaky scout where you can't see what they're doing. He's pretty much only scouted or done actions on the top guys. So it looks like he's trying to not give anything away so far. He was already like one of the initial schools on Reed Piper, so even if he is interested in him, it doesn't really matter. I don't know about Sawyer McKenna, I forget about him, but he looks like he's good at hitting. So Georgia, not sure what they're doing too much, but a couple phone calls and a couple scouts, that was it. Hey, my state tax return was accepted, hooray. And then Tennessee, again, same thing. They're kind of trying to hide what they're doing. You can see a couple of actions on the top guys, but they're trying to hide, I think, everything else. And then Stanford, we see a couple more scouting actions. You see them trying to get in on Kai Kardashian. Maybe a little scary for me, but we do have coach reputation as our thing, and we have the priority on that, so that's at least good. But if he tries to start going all in, always a little spicy. At least we were also going all in, so at least we'll have to waste a lot of points trying to fight each other for it. Marshall Harrington, though, he's going to look ridiculous. So another one that I think him and Compass are like the main two. Florida are the top two teams. Trying to fight for that. Blake Ponder, a scout. Miles Fruki, a scout. And it showed actually like he was terrible, which we'll show in a bit. And he also scouted Manny McLaughlin and Caden Bracken. And then last but not least, Florida. Again, we can't see his scouting actions if he did any of those, but Marshall Harrington, Chase Underwood, again, a lot of these top guys. Sawyer McKenna, he hosted these top two guys as well. And if he's in on top guys, you know it's scary because he gets that plus 30 on every action, so he's tough to beat. And a couple other guys and a couple of emails. Again, these are like 40 points for him, but they only cost 10, which is pretty nice. Let's look at the actual big board. So yeah, this one is the main copy right now. Some of us have submitted for the stage 3/week 2, and we've kind of played some of the games so far, but so it's a little tricky to see who's in first because I don't have this stuff pinned and shit. But let's just look at some of these ratings. Yeah, let's see. That's why I love having these left side frozen. But pretty much it so far. I think again, Marshall Harrington looking pretty like one of the best guys in the class. Probably still has that 80 scout grade over here, but all these other things are like B or better, so that's gross. He also has gold average hitter, which is nuts. else nasty? Yeah, we were already talking about Griffin Golden last week. Caden Bracken, he showed 84 fielding, which isn't bad, isn't great. And a belly, we saw good stamina, but then... Oh, this is... some of these stuff are week 2 storylines updated too, so I don't want to give away too much. Anything else? Glass looks gross with that special pitch. Maddox showing good fielding, but not so good hitting, power, run speed. He's a two-way guy. And can't show some of the stuff because it's week 2 storylines, which have already been out. But yeah, I think that'll call it for this one. Just want to give the update. So we did have to resolve that phone call spam stuff, and also poor La Ramirez parents. That's fucked up. Until next time, we'll see ya. Peace.